What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Childish. We're back at it again with the next critical thinking episode. It's all about that rune optimization today, and we got ourselves a special guest. We have ourselves a member from the It's Make No Sense Guild, GGEXE in the house, but GG for short. How we doing, sir?
Yeah, good man. What's up?
Not too much, sure. I'm excited as always to get it on board. If you guys remember from previous Educate and Dominates, we had Goon kind of give us a heads up on the theories of rune optimization and how we can utilize that to our advantage. Our subscriber here, GG, wanted to take time out of his day to kind of showcase the rune database and optimizer that he uses in an effort to better your guys' game and take you guys to the next level. So I appreciate your time and energy put into this, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, looking very forward for this interview. It's gonna be very, very interesting.
Good deal, good deal. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Summoners War Rune Database and Optimizer. Where can they go ahead and start out with this one?
Cool. The link for this website is gonna be in this description below, so look up for it. I would just like to say quickly that this is not my tool. Credits goes to the people who created it. You can actually see it more on the website. And yeah, so we're gonna start with what this thing is all about. Just to give you guys a quick background, I work as an analyst that works with a lot of data. So yeah, I really like to work with numbers and whatnot, trying to theory graph and do a lot of min-maxing, just like what Childish like to do, right?
Not to your extent, sir, but I'm working on it, working on it, and I ain't gonna lie, I've really been infatuated with the optimizing, but just because of some time and energy, as you know, that I'm gonna be having a baby here shortly, I haven't been able to like sit down and really put in hours, to like put all the information in with the runes and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to kind of checking this out. Hopefully, you can kind of guide me as to how we can do this, and not just myself, but our subscribers too. Check this out. So.
Cool, cool. Just want to let you guys know beforehand that this is a lot of work. All right.
Hmm.
It all depends, obviously, how many runes that you have. I personally have over 600 runes. I have runes everywhere from like I put runes like that are equipped on my monsters. Runes that are equipped like on monsters that I just throw around and just put into the monster storage. So after a while, it starts getting quite a lot, and then sometimes you forget. Sometimes you have this crazy rune just sitting out there that you can use, but you just kind of forget about it because it's in the storage and you have no way of knowing if you had it. So this tool actually allows you to know basically where your rune are also. Now we start out with a rune. Now from the way I did it is that I entered all my runes. I've heard some people that actually inserted only their best runes. Both is fine, but if you want to have a clearer picture, well, uh, obviously you're gonna put more. But if you don't have enough time, somebody like Childish, for example, who's not able to enter all his like 1,000 runes that he has,
Yeah, whatever, my man. You crazy, man.
then you might only you might want to put on like selected few, like your best, for example. All right. Next thing also is that for 600 runes, it can take you up to 2 to 3 days entering all of that. So be wary. All right.
Okay.
So the way it works. So this is the main page here, and this is you have a couple of tabs on top. You have the notes, which is basically the change lock, export, import function that we're going to discuss a little bit later. And the first one we're going to tackle is going to be the runes, right? So this is where you're going to be inputting all your runes, and as you can see, that's a lot. Let's just say that you wanted to create a new rune. You would basically create you this is basically a number that's auto-generated, so don't worry. Let's just say that I'm just gonna clear that. Right? Yeah. All right. So let's just say you want to create a new rune. You have an energy rune, and this is basically the set. Obviously, the slot would be how many stars it is. No, what is the sorry? What's the position? 1, 2, 3, 6, 2, 4, 5, 6. And what is the monster that it is assigned to? That I will discuss a little bit later as well. Those basically are all my monsters, and you can rename it to your liking. Let's just say this belongs to Megan. And the grade, what it is basically the color of a rune, right? What else? No, grade is sorry. I'm like, sorry. This is actually a mistake. This is the grade is actually the number of stars, right?
Okay.
Number of stars, and the level is basically what the rune level is, 1 to
Okay.
15. Right? Let's
Okay.
just say it's a grade 6, 15. Uh, Obviously, a slot 6 cannot have speed, so you would put attack, and it would automatically calculate for you because since you already entered like the parameters up there, it will
Right.
actually calculate it for you. Well, a slot 6 max level 15 is going to be 63.
That makes sense. Okay.
That makes sense. So that allows you, well, basically cause less error. The init stat is basically the affix, right? The substats. So just give you a quick example. In this rune, crit rate is a suffix. Alright, so let's just say take this one for example, you do crit rate 6. And then you will fill in the blanks here as what other stats you might have, right? So whether it's speed, attack, well I'm just gonna pick random numbers here. It's gonna be a pretty shitty rune.
It's all right.
Alright, so then create new. You get a message here that says the rune is created.
That's kind of cool. So it kind of lets you know every time something's been
Yeah,
developed. And
yeah.
so with regards to the thing now that I'm looking at right now, you got obviously over 600 runes. Looking on the left side, showing the number, the ID that it's assigned. Is this something that it will organize by a
Yes.
certain way, or you have it organized by level or grade? Which way are you organizing it at this time?
Well, very, very, very good question. Basically, this tool allows you to organize it in whatever way you want. Like if you just say that you want to sort it by ID, as you see here, the last one that I entered is this one right here, right, that you can see.
Correct.
Or you could just do whatever. You want to sort it by slot, you want to sort it by grade or level, it's whatever, it's up to you. Alright. There's also a very cool search feature out there that you just say that you just I don't know. You just say that you want to know what's the rune on Megan. So you stop typing Megan and boom, here it is. It's pretty
Okay.
cool.
Very nice. Yeah, real quick to get to it and everything. That's nice.
Right? And on the bottom here you also have like some drop down menus that would basically tell you you can sort it. You can filter it by okay, we're just gonna delete that. Sorry. We'll go back down. We're gonna have some new runes. Let's just say I want to know well how many blade rune that I have. So by clicking blade, basically give you all your blade rune, which you can see I have a lot. And let's just say that you're looking for a specific rune like a slot 2. This is all that I have. And let's just say that your main slot 2 is gonna be attack percentage. Well, I have only one because I'm pro.
Cool.
Right?
Alrighty.
So that way you can also there's a little delete function here that you can just delete it. We're not gonna do it here, but yeah. What else? What else? What else? I want to show you something about it's called lock. Let's take this one for example.
Okay.
Alright, I'm just gonna filter it so that it's clearer. There is a little button here, and basically when you do that, the icon changes from unlock to lock. And basically what it does is that let's just say that you are creating like a new set for a monster and you don't want it to be used by any monster afterwards. You would actually lock the rune so that this rune belongs to Draco and nobody else. So nobody else touch it.
Gotcha. So does the lock icon only come on when you set the rune to somebody, or is it just something that?
No, by default it's unlock. You have
Okay.
a choice of unlocking it, right?
Okay. But
But
what I'm saying is you got a rune set up right now on Draco, right? So what I'm
mhm.
saying is when you input the rune and you look at the rune that's not on a unit, is it going to give you that lock function, or the lock function only comes when you have it on a unit?
Yeah, it's only when it's on a unit.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind that everyone's listening, so that make sure that when you look at these runes, whether the lock function won't come on until you get it onto the unit.
All right. So that's the heavy part. So you're gonna have to do this data entry thing for all your runes if you want, or only the best rune that you have, and it's gonna take a bit of time, but good luck to you guys. Now we're gonna move over the monster tab, and basically what it is a list of all my monsters, right? Now you could import some of it, but what I like to do is that just to input my own monsters, right? You don't need to be very exact in the naming because you can actually name it whatever you want. So this is actually specifically good if you have multiple monsters with the same name, like Lucian 1, Lucian 2. Don't
Gotcha.
worry. And what's actually a very cool feature that I really like is that it actually allows you to basically put a level and put a specific stat. Everything is free. Basically, you can write whatever you want. So for new players out there, if you're level 35 and you can put your stats. Basically, this what you see here is base stats. Keep that in mind. Base stats. It's not. It's basically like with no rules, right? So a Ryok at level 40, this is what the stats look like. Comes with 9,000 HP, blah 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 blah. Same thing applies here with the search function. You can also sort and whatever if that's your thing. But I don't think there's much to do here. Normally, when you create a monster, you're not gonna be changing it anytime soon. I think
Gotcha.
because the base stats only stays the same. Only if like come to us decide to change the base stat of a monster, then you might want to go back and yeah.
Okay, and I apologize because I might have missed it earlier. When you put in the level, does it automatically enter the base stats of the unit? Does it have that save, or do
No.
you got to put that in? Okay, you got to put that in individually.
Exactly, you gotta put that in. So the way you do that is obviously I'm gonna show it here and so that you can have an idea. So for example, you can go on the wiki, all right? And basically, this is what you're gonna get here. Basically, this is the numbers that we need, right? So if you want to know at level 40 what's the max, unfortunately, they don't give you like what's in between 35 and 40. But if you have a monster, you can just go on your monster screen and you see that.
Hmm. So here's a good question for you. Since you have the opportunity to put these, runes, and obviously you got to put the units as well. Could we say that, when people are first starting out, and obviously they understand that this is going to take a little bit of time, to utilize their time, wisely, because obviously if they're putting in their runes, they really can't play the game. Could we say that it's probably a good idea to put in the units first, and they can like play the game on the side, and then they can just do everything on the computer, and then put in the runes last? Or do you recommend putting it on the runes and then putting in the units and making everything work?
That's a very good question, and I apologize for that. Yes, actually, it's a good idea because if you go back into the rune section, you have to select a monster, right? So
Okay.
if you have no monster, you don't get to know where it is. But again, you don't need to put a monster here because you can have a rune that's just sitting in your inventory, right?
Right. Right.
But yeah, that's a very good valid point. If you have a monster if you have a monster that has rune on it, then it's better to create the monster first and then create the rune after that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely start with that, guys. So stay tuned for that. Okay. Let's see.
Take note, take note.
Take note. There it is.
All right, now the funny part. This is after you spend countless hours doing all those two things. This is where the fun starts, really.
Oh
And I
yeah.
have a real case scenario here today for you guys.
Yeah,
Working
buddy.
on my monster. I'm gonna work on my Reki. This is what her stats look like right now. So 99% crit, 155 crit damage, whatever, whatever, on Blade Violent.
What a
Now,
baller. Look at those stats. So sexy.
there's a lot of things that, especially when you have a lot of runes, um, you are able to see like sometimes you have offset that are better than sets. Like for example, I have my baller Sig here that's running 100% crit and 200 crit damage on Rage, but he's using basically a broken set, right?
Hmm.
So this tool will actually give you that. So without delaying here, I'll show you how it works. So basically, I get to choose my monster. I'll go here if I find my marquee. Got that. All right. Raki. So here you get all the base stats and everything.
Hmm.
Obviously he's awakened, so 30% crit rate. And then you go and choose. Okay, so I want my. Basically, what I'm trying to do right now is try to find a better stat for her, for the next removal coming pretty soon, right?
Right, right, right.
So I would still want to have her on violent. All right. Now I'm not gonna put a second set. Here you can see here. You can actually put two set or three set. Violet is a four rune requirement,
Okay.
right? So that will leave me with like a two set if I want to do a combination. But let's just say for now that I'm not gonna put blade here because it's gonna limit the possibilities of my runes, right? I'm just gonna leave it there. If the tool actually finds blade is better, then blade's better. But if not, then whatever. Slot two, and slot two, slot four, slot six. So basically, this is the what kind of stat that you want on your slot 2, 4, 6. Obviously, the good old attack with
Yeah,
that
buddy, you
stat.
can't get enough of that damn
Yep.
attack.
Additional preference. Remember, like we were talking about lock runes earlier.
Correct.
Now you can click this by selecting this because if let's just say that you locked a rune on a specific monster, but you want to use it for that monster too, then you can just say, "Hey, I want to use it." Like I don't care if it's locked to this guy. I'm gonna take his rune. Well, just put
Right,
his rune in my calculation. That is.
right, right.
Or you could use, like use only runes from my inventory. If let's just say that you have runes that are already on other monsters, and that you don't want to change your other monsters, so only use like runes that are in your inventory. All right, you can also do that. But for now, let's just say that um, we're gonna let's just say that after rune removal hits, Raki is gonna be my first monster that I'm gonna give everything to. All right, I'm gonna give her everything, all the best runes that I have. And here is only use 6-star runes for 2, 4, 6. So for people who are picky about not using 5-star runes for their 2, 4, 6, then you can click this. And this is only if you have 4-star runes. I'll be honest with you, if you're late game, mid to late game, I wouldn't really spend the time entering 4-star rune because it takes a lot of time, and I don't think it's something I'm going to be replacing soon anyway. So, right.
Okay.
Alright, so also you have here include this rune. Let's just say that you have a specific
Specific
rune,
rune. Right. Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
that you want to put. So let's go back to our runes here. Let's just say this rune here, which is on Draco. You see the number here, 636.
Okay.
Let's just say here, for whatever reason, I want to put his rune here in this calculation. Well, you put the number, and if you want to add the additional rune, you put a comma, and then you put the next number.
And that rune was 636, right? Not 626.
Yeah, you're right.
Fail. There's the fail for the
Fail.
video. Fail.
Fail. Same thing applies here if you don't want to include this one in the calculation. Alright, so build all possible builds. Now, I do not recommend you clicking on that button here. Reason is because it's going to take a lot of time. It would take forever to give you a result. So what I do is to actually add a filter. Alright, it's a focus and filtering stat. So basically you filter, because right now if I just click on there, you would just give me all the combination and permutation that have attack, crit damage, attack. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Okay.
Instead, we're just gonna focus on specific runes. So we're gonna look, I want crit rate and I want crit damage because that's the YOLO way, right?
Mhm.
We don't care about anything else. You could add a third one, but I really do not recommend using a third focus. Because it's not gonna be accurate.
Okay.
Right?
So,
Parce que the way it works is that it's gonna look at all your runes and then it will look at all the runes that had quick rate, quick damage, speed on the same rune, which is
okay.
gonna hurt your performance.
Yep, that's what I was just about to ask you. The focuses are stats on the actual rune, not just one of the two or two of the two. You're forcing it to have at least both of these stats on those runes.
Yes, both
Okay.
his stats, or yeah. So you could just start by crit damage, crit rate if you want. That's totally fine as well.
Mhm. And right, so I guess one thing we kind of point out for the beginners that are trying to get this, going, beginner to intermediate stage, you might not have the runes that GG or some of the other top players have, where they have, they literally save all the runes that have, 2 to 3 specific subsets that they want. You might find that while this function is great, you might have to narrow it down to just one to start out with until you realize you start playing over the course of the time and start collecting runes that have the stats to you go for. We were actually just talking prior to this how he has over 600 runes, and I told him I probably only have over 400, but the runes that I have I generally focus on only keeping the runes that have at least 3 out of the 4 substats I want on them. So it helps me reduce the amount that I keep, but again, it's always nice to have runes for later use and whatnot. So obviously, it just depends on your flavor, your taste. So
Exactly. So you could always start with crit rate first, look at the results, and then put crit damage and look at the result and compare.
cool.
All right. So after you're done with this, you click go. All right. So it's gonna take some time. Yeah. All right. So it's already done. All right. So this is where it's actually cool. This is actually show you the actual stats. So basically, at what's your current level of your rune right now, right? And also you could look at what the rune gonna look like at plus 15. So that is kind of cool, right?
Very nice.
All right. I will also point out to here the last column here, substat upgrade. There's 2. I'm gonna actually go into this and show you why. That's because I have this rune here, which is at plus 7. All right. So basically, what this column tells you is that hey, you have using those 6 runes. Oh, this is all the numbers here that I mentioned before. This is all the numbers. This is all your rune numbers, right?
Right.
In sequence. And with the, hey, by using this combination, you have still the chance of upgrading 2 times to get the stats. For example, for this one, you see, like I could upgrade it to plus 9, I would get a new substat. I'll upgrade it to plus 12, I'll get a new substat.
Correct.
Right? So basically that's what it is, because the tool cannot predict what you're gonna get at plus 12 if you only put like a plus 6 rune. Right? So this is with as is. This is how it is.
Gotcha.
All right. So now you can see here with all my runes, I have 126 page worth of ways I can ruin my Raki. All right. So that's pretty dope.
But I would assume that the optimizer is going to basically, it's got 126 pages, but it's going to show you, your top stats basically on the top. So
not exactly. You
okay.
will have to like filter, sort for it, and I will actually show you a little thing that's hidden here. It's called the filter.
Okay.
Filter, what it is basically you set your threshold. You're like, hey, I have a minimum requirement that I want for my group, my monster. All right.
Gotcha.
Let's just say for Raki, since she's at, is it 99? All right. Let's just say that she has near 99 crit. I don't want to have anything lower than 95. All right, because I'm dope. So I don't want to have anything lower than this. So when you click on apply, here then he will give you like 14 pages. See? So that actually went down pretty quickly. So here I have 95, and the max that I have is this. All right. So let's just say for this one, and let's just say if I look at my monster, my hierarchy has 42 accuracy. All right. Well, I want to see all that I have for, let's just say 40 accuracy and above. Apply. Boom. I have only 1 page now. So that went down pretty quickly, right? So you get the idea. So you're basically like limiting it until you see what's worth.
Right.
Now I'm gonna sort by crit damage, because obviously if you go above 100 crit, it's kind of a waste, right? You can always limit it here if you want. You're like, hey, don't give me, but just leave it here for now. I would actually look at what's the highest crit damage that I can get, right? So, okay, so with all my runes that I have, I can get this kind of stats on my Raki. Is it better than what I have? I have 3 crit damage more. I have 4 damage less, 4 crit rate less. I have less health. Does so that the first one here doesn't mean it's the best. You have to be a little bit intelligent here. Try to
Gotcha.
think through it, like, is it worth sacrificing 4 crit damage to get no 4 crit rate, 3 crit rate to get 2 crit damage and 2,000 health? You have to ask yourself that question. Unfortunately, the rune cannot tell you, the tool cannot tell you, hey, you need this, you need this. It's basically really up to your own discretion
Right.
in knowing what's the balance, right? How much are you willing to lose?
Right, and how much would that jeopardize the other units, right? Because this is showcasing the runes that you're using, but some of these runes, if we selected it the way we did, it could be trying to optimize your unit based on some of the runes that might be already on the other unit. So while this unit might be super strong, you might be stripping away other of your
True,
main units.
true.
So
So
something to
that's
pay
why,
attention to.
yeah. So that's why you would use the lock feature, as I mentioned above,
Correct.
so that if you want a specific rune but you don't want anybody to use it, then do it. All right. So if I look closely, I think this one is actually better, in my opinion. Could it be? Sorry, I was just quickly here. Just pull out my calculator. All right. So my Raki is at 2,034 damage right now. See? So if I select this, I lose 1 crit. I gain 2 crit damage, but I gain over 100 attack.
Hmm.
So this rune, like a rune removal, like I would actually do that, right?
Gotcha. And you said you were over 100 attack? What was your attack right now?
Right now I'm at 2034.
Gotcha.
You
Okay.
see, that's above. I get like 100 attack more. I lose 1 crit, but obviously from 99 crit to 98 crit,
You'll be okay, bro. It's go.
I think
It's
I
okay.
feel
I think
from
you'll be
there.
okay. I think you'll be okay.
All right. All
Very
right,
cool.
so now I'll click on, let's just say that you can click on here, right, the rune IDs, and basically it would actually show you what your rune is like. So here you have here, it will tell you, okay, this is rune 462, 315, this is in your inventory, whatever, whatever. And you can actually you can basically know what rune do you need to be able to get that stat, right? Yeah, as you can see, initially when the way I ruined my Reki is I did it in my head, right? I did it by hand by looking at my rune manually, like everybody.
Hmm.
But if I didn't have this tool, I wouldn't know that, hey, instead of going violent blade, I could go with, violent here, blade here, and just use this fatal rune here that I have no idea that I had, and had a better stat than this one gave me,
Right. Right.
right?
Right. Makes sense. Yep.
You would
Definitely.
have no idea that existed.
Yep.
Let's just say that you are happy with this or whatever. You would just go, well, equip rune. So basically what it do is that if you have anything, like for example this one, which is in my inventory, if I equip it, well, it's not gonna show you right now. Basically it's gonna assign those runes to Raki. So every time when you go into the runes, 315, so fail.
Fail.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Let's forget about this. What happened? Let's forget about what happened here.
Yep. We'll have to
Right.
edit this out, but
Yeah.
I'm not because we embrace
Okay.
the failures. So.
So 315. You would see later on that he would actually belong to Raki. All right.
Okay.
Um, and here you can able to quickly lock it. Like basically lock the rune so that after you already work on a Raki, you move on to your next monster. Well, when you do your calculation, those runes will not be applicable to that monster. Right?
Okay.
And the way I recommend people runing, and I'm pretty sure, I think I learned that from you, Charges, is that you rune your best monster first,
Hmm.
and then give your other rune to other people. But it's a
Yep.
preference thing. So yeah, you can look. As you can see up there, every time that you select, like whatever, like a build, like let's call that a build here, okay? There's gonna be a new tab that's gonna be created. So basically, you can easily compare quickly for like, oh, what's the number 3 or what's the number 4?
Mhm.
You
Okay.
don't have to go
Good.
back and everything. Everything is up there.
Very nice. Yeah.
All right. So that's a uh, real life demonstration about how to use this tool. Childish, do you want to see anything particular? Perhaps something just for lol. Like how much can I achieve with like really?
Actually, I was kind of hoping we could take it back a notch. So just to kind of run through the steps,
Mhm.
the people, get the link that will be given down below. They put their units in first. They put their runes in seconds. Now, we were talking about prior to this video, talking about the save function and how it's extremely vital to make sure that you're saving here. So where are the people going to go to make sure that their stuff is saved? How can they double check that?
Yeah, correct. Yes. So the way you do that is actually there's gonna be an export import function. All right. The way it works is that after you enter all your rune and your monsters, let's just say that you're gonna be changing your computer, or let's just say that you're changing browser, you format anything, and basically you're gonna lose stuff, right? So the way I recommend people doing it is basically when you click on export import, oops, there's gonna be two options, right? Option if you go down, it's gonna be export. They just say that right now I want to export all my runes that I have, so I'm just gonna click on export, and it's gonna give me here a bunch of text. Now don't try to understand what it is.
It's
What
like
you're
the
gonna do,
Matrix.
yeah, it's at the matrix though. It's so beautiful. Anyways, you basically select all, Control A, copy, open a notepad. So it's black for me. And yeah, so you save that. This is basically
That's definitely the Matrix, bro. This is serious stuff.
so basically yes. And actually, I actually managed to read through it too. Anyways, basically, this file is technically your save file. So if anytime there's something that happened, uh, you lose your rune, you can actually come back here, paste your stuff, and click import. And basically, all your runes gonna be here, all your monsters gonna be here. No problem.
Good deal.
All right. That's
Yeah.
only if if you're just closing it. But for my when I used it, uh, like it always save even when I close it. It's only like for example that you clear your cache, or you clear your history, for example, that can actually go away. So that's why we always recommend after entering all your monsters and runes, go ahead and export and put it in a save file, save it so that you have peace of mind. You don't want to spend 2 days just entering all your runes. So that's basically it. Before I want to show one last thing, and this is only for bragging, really.
Nice.
Let's see here. If I choose my Lucian, if I go Rage, attack with damage attack, how much actually, technically, I could go? A lot of people will have fun with this, really. Like trying to see, oh, what's the best damage that I can do? That's it.
204.
That's it.
And using locked runes, yeah, yeah.
No, that's not how. Oh, 243
Oh,
crit damage.
243. Okay, okay. Yeah,
This
with
is the
with
kind
no
of
with no
answers.
crit rate, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the kind of answers that some people sometimes ask themselves. Say, what's the maximum that I can possibly reach? And let's just say if I ignore crit rate because my monster has a built-in feature that we like put my crit rate to max or something.
Mhm.
There you have it. This is your answer.
Very, very
243 crit
cool.
damage.
Cool. So maybe the next question that we kind of use since you've already gone through this is why don't you go ahead and tell the viewers a little bit about your experience prior to using this optimizer and how much more of a impact has it made in your game?
Well, it's actually helped me a lot with min-maxing. Like I work on TO. I'm currently working on TO hard, and
Mhm.
sometimes missing this 1% accuracy really really is gonna make a very bad day out of you. So this one really actually helped me in knowing, oh, what's the maximum speed and what's the maximum accuracy and all of that. Before, really, it was just going to like through each rune, selecting them, and like going like, is that good? Is that bad? Is that good? Is that bad? But really, this tool actually, even though it takes a lot, it takes a lot of time to maintain it because every time that you get a rune, well, guess what? You're gonna have to create the rune, right? It takes time, but if you are um, if you're diligent, then you can just the way I do it, and this is like a trick, guys. Let's just say that you get a like a rune. Let's just say this rune was it has 22 accuracy on it. Damn it. Let's just say that you get this rune, and let's just say it's +1, right? It's Legion and everything. You say, oh my god, this is the rune, and you just say that you're not at home or you're not in front of your computer. You cannot go and just click on your rune and just do all of this. Well, what you could do, well, restrain yourself from powering it up. You can leave it as blank, as +1. And every time when you go through all your runes and you see that, oh, there is a rune that's not leveled up, which means that you would basically say that, oh, I didn't put it here because the way I do it, and I do it as a kind of like a ritual, like as soon as I upgrade a rune, it has to go here. I mean, that is if I want to keep it.
Hmm.
Get it?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So, yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. The Rune Optimizer. Any
Alrighty.
question?
I think that's pretty much it. The only thing that I can really say is I hope everyone gets an opportunity to check this out. Well, again, we'll have all the links in the description down below. Um, what was I gonna say here? I think what I'll go ahead and do is this video will come out. Um, well, it's out there for you today, but you'll have 24 hours to kind of utilize this. So for the people that are trying to use this for the rune removal day coming up tomorrow, October 10th, then you can go ahead and go ahead and check this out, see if you can get it done beforehand. Obviously, for the people that are really end game and have a ton of runes, you might not be able to use this completely tomorrow, but at least you got the opportunity now to check it out, mess around with it, so that the next go around you're all good to go. And then this, of course, goes for anybody that is watching this prior to. So again, special thanks to Gigi for coming out today and giving us this information to go ahead and help us out. I really do appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, likewise.
All right, and again, I do want to. I guess I want to just take a quick second again, just to um, give you another kind of shout out. It's just something that I want to go ahead and get out there. I had a couple questions, and I hope you don't mind, Gigi, to hang
Mm-hmm.
on there because you'll understand why. I've had a couple questions over the course of the last, or a couple people come up to me over the course of the last couple of weeks, and we're like, hey, I really love what you're doing with this educate and dominate, series or whatnot. You should interview this guy. You should interview that guy. Or I've had the people come up to me and say, hey, Childish, we're the #1 guild here, or we're the #2 guild there. Why haven't you interviewed us? Okay, and so just so you guys know, and I'll be real with you, the people that I choose for the educate and dominate, or the people that I choose for doing stuff like this, are not people that I'm doing it. I'm not doing it because they're the best of the best, and everyone should know who they are. Okay, these people are up there in the best of the best, but they're here to provide information for you, the viewer, the one that's watching right now. Okay, it's not about me increasing my views or my subscribers. It's not about them getting boasted, getting the nod so that everybody knows how big their manhood is, right? This is about you guys and making sure that you guys get the best information that I can possibly give to you in order to improve your game and take you to the next level. GGEXC came to me out of nowhere and said, hey, I just want to let you know about this Rune Optimizer. I noticed that you haven't had something available on your channel, and I want to take the time and the energy to come on board and teach this to you. It is 11 p.m. At his time right now, and he is staying up real late to get this out to you guys so you guys can have this for Rune Removal Day. So I just want to give again a quick shout out. My hat's off to you, sir, for going out of your way to help the community. It will not be forgotten, sir. I know that everyone will truly appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. There we go. Okay, guys. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up right there. Thank you again all for tuning in. Be sure to check out previous videos coming up for you this week. It's your boy Childish and Gigi with ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we will see you next time, guys. We're out.